Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Winton Woods Board of Education regular meeting. Today is Monday, March 20th, 6:30 p.m., and we're going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. If everyone would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. If everyone could please turn their electronic devices to silent or vibrate, that would be greatly appreciated, as we have a lot of awards and recognitions this evening, and we want to make sure all the families get their attention they are due. Mr. Seymour, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Kuhn?
Here.
Mrs. Ruggless?
Here.
Mr. Birdie?
Here.
Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mrs. Miranda?
Present. First item on the agenda this evening are our district honors recognitions, gifts, and introductions. Mr. Superintendent, you have the floor.
Yes, Madam President and Board. Oh, wow, I can't wait for these new buildings to come, so, yeah. Thank you. We're going to be a little bit out of order because we have some students that are participating in other activities. So we're going to start with Kate, better known as Catherine Ingram. Kate? Kate's going to be the recipient of the Gold Star Student of the Month Award. So I'm going to read a little bit about Kate. This is from her counselor, Brad Tash. I've known Catherine Ingram for 2 years now. She is truly one of the most remarkable people I've ever met. It is so rare to meet a person who possesses such great intelligence and able to match it with an equally impressive personality. Kate is warm, personable, humorous, and genuine. She works very well with others and always keeps a positive attitude. When you combine all of that with the fact that she has never received less than an A, an extremely demanding honors course load, you'll get a well-rounded young lady and a natural leader among her peers. Kate is also heavily involved in our drama department, where she is also has a huge time commitment. It amazes me how she fits it all in. Kate Ingram truly embodies all the best qualities we look for in young people. It has been an honor to be her counselor. And again, that's from Mr. Brad Tash, counselor at Winton Woods High School. Kate. Kate, you want to say a few words?
I do my best.
Very good. The Skyline Student Athlete of the Month, because she has another engagement, is Adversa Prezzicito. Come on up. So we're going to brag about you. Turn around to the public. Winton Woods Jr., Adversa Prezzicito, a member of the high school's inaugural girls rowing team, has been named the District Skyline Student Athlete of the Month for March. Adversa is a three-sport athlete. She is also a member of the girls' golf and bowling teams. Adversa is an extremely dedicated, driven member of the Winton Woods girls rowing team, said her coach, Pat Reister. I set a goal for my athletes to hit 100,000 meters in our preseason training, and Adversa has exceeded it with 173,082 meters rowed as of March 13th. Whoa. It's there. The way that Adversa pushes herself to do better, pull harder, has motivated her teammates to do their best as well. She focuses on proper technique and does things the right way. Adversa's smiling face is a pleasure to see every day at practice. I'm lucky to have her on our team in our first year as we build something very special. The Skyline Athlete of the Month award is sponsored by Forest Park Skyline, a business partner of Winton City Schools. Student athletes honored receive a $20 Skyline gift card. Adversa Prentesito.
Coach, can you come up and get the photo with Larissa, please?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Jalen Montgomery here? Jalen. All right. March Skyline Student Athlete of the Month, Jalen Montgomery. Winton Woods High School's Jalen Montgomery has been named as the District Skyline Student Athlete of the Month for March. Jalen participates in both football and lacrosse. Lacrosse, folks. Yes. Here we go. You're going to make me famous. All right. Jalen's a hardworking young man, both on the and off the field, said Winton Woods High School Athletic Director David Lumpkin. While he's becoming a defensive specialist, he is also a team motivator and is making history as a strong leader of the inaugural lacrosse team this season at the high school. The Skyline Student Athlete of the Month award is sponsored by the Forest Park Skyline, a business partner of Winton Woods City Schools. Student athletes honored receive a $20 Skyline gift card. Go Jalen. Oh, what a grip.
To tell you hello from Cherylville in Frankfort, Kentucky.
Oh, absolutely. Frankfort, Kentucky, home of Kentucky State University, folks. Yes.
She's my teacher.
Fantastic. All right, Jalen, who did you bring with you, mom and dad?
Also, father, alumni of Kentucky State University, too.
Oh, way to go. Say it again to the mic, sir.
Alumni of Kentucky State University.
Okay, all right.
And I also want to mention, y'all missed a great wrestler this year. He do wrestle national junior Olympic champion. He just did wrestle for the school this year.
Congratulations.
Fantastic.
I know that you said hello.
I will. All right, thank you. Okay, our next recipient is the Skyline Student Athlete of the Month for February. She couldn't make it because she was probably out competing. So, Sienna Bailey. Winton Woods Middle School 8th grader Sienna Bailey has been named Winton Woods City Schools Skyline Student Athlete of the Month for February. Bailey is an honor roll student who plays basketball and runs track. As a member of the 8th grade girls basketball team at Winton Woods Middle School, Sienna is an athletic perimeter performer who attacks the rim, said girls coach Winfield Franklin. A very coachable and respectful young lady, she finishes every play and brings results. Sienna can manufacture points and is a mid-range game producer. She delivers under pressure and will definitely be an elite prospect in the class of 2021. To be nominated for the Skyline Student Athlete of the Month, students must, number one, maintain an academic standard of 3.0 or higher, show respect for coaches, teammates, officials, teachers, and other students and family, show enthusiasm and a positive attitude, display commitment to practice, games, and personal skill development, demonstrate honesty and playing by the rules, have high moral character. The Skyline Student Athlete of the Month is sponsored by the Forest Park Skyline, a business partner of Winton Woods City Schools. Student athletes receive a $20 Skyline gift card. Our next UK star, Sienna Bailey. Okay. Now let's go on to the Kiwanis Characters Key Award for Madeline Tarver. Madeline? Oh, Madeline! Wow.
And there's a gift card for Barnes and Noble. So you can go buy a whole bunch of books.
Yes.
Make sure you don't lose that, okay?
Don't go anywhere yet, because we're gonna read.
All right. Are you ready, Madeline? Turn around and look beautiful. All right. Madeline is in the first grade, and her teacher, Miss Holloway, gave her the character trait of resourcefulness. Madeline Tarver exhibits resourcefulness to her creativity, energetic, and unique spirit. She's a delight to have in the classroom as she challenges the thinking of both her peers and her teacher. She is highly talented in many facets of academia. She is the highest reader in her class and excels in the arts. She is never afraid of new challenges as she is willing to attempt any task that is given to her. Often her creative solutions help other students find a new approach to their problems. Madeline is a wonderful friend to have as she is helpful, kind, and caring. She seeks resolution to conflict and encourages others to get along. She is sensitive to the emotions of her peers as she attempts to include all students in her class. She constantly helps explain complicated assignments to struggling students and will seek out additional assignments to challenge herself. Wow, you're in the first grade. She is self-sufficient in her studies, often creating her own work of practice to reinforce her learning. She is the type of student any teacher would love to have. Madeline will be a very successful adult because of her resourcefulness and determination to learn. Madeline Tarver. Did she bring someone with her?
Mom and Dad, come on up.
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, good.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So we're moving on to the Winton Woods Intermediate School February 28 Art Gallery winners. And Mr. Aaron Smits is the teacher. The first recipient, and this is the superintendent selection, Janice Lumpkin. Now that took some time. So instead of the regular art that's framed, we decided, where's Mr. Day? Mr. Day and I decided to go way off the ranch and do something 3D. And I saw the pencil, and I'm thinking, absolutely amazing. You know, as we work diligently to talk about technology, we all started with this. So this is going to hang in my office somewhere. Do you mind? Okay, all right. And it's just a representation of what school really is about. It's about the educating of students, and the pencil and the pen are great representations of who we are and what we do. So thank you for your work. I need you to tell me, I know your mom inspired you with the pencil, all right? Because your dad would have probably did a basketball. But tell me what inspired you to do the pencil.
Well, I'm mostly into doing 3D dimensional objects, and so I was like, you know, let's try to do a weird object, something that no one would probably think of. So I thought of a pencil because I'm always using it all the time. So I was like, that'd be cool to use. So yeah.
Wow. Bravo.
You got it, Dad? Okay.
So that pencil will hang in my office till you graduate? All right? Okay. Next, principal selection. Mr. Day, why don't you come up with this one? Mikhail Fyodor. Mr. Day raved about this one. This was his selection, and you want to tell a little bit about it?
Well, what excited me because we were doing a bird competition, and I didn't exactly know I was gonna win, but I usually watch Rio and Rio too, so I really wanted to do something that really inspired me, something with beautiful colors and something that just really spoke out to me.
Wow.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, come on, we go.
Little sister's like, I'm here. Yes.
Picture opportunity. Gotta go.
Little brothers, he doesn't want me. It's a little boy thing. They don't care about that stuff, man.
One more. We're gonna take one more picture, guys, okay?
You don't remember? Because we don't know. You don't know. Yeah, right, that's good.
Okay.
He wants to do some more. Are they supposed to be getting medals with this? The other girl did leave.
Okay. Latico Jordan. Wow. Mr. Day, come back up. This is such an inspirational piece. And Mr. Jordan, can you tell us what inspired you and tell us who that is?
I was really, okay, this will happen. So we were doing a project for the Freedom Center, and I was just brainstorming, and the first thing that came to mind was Frederick Douglass.
Bravo. Absolutely.
Very good.
Tell us a little bit about the caption at the top. It says something.
Oh, the caption at the top says intelligence, and once again, I was brainstorming of words to put right there because it should really capture his nature, so I thought of intelligence.
Bravo.
Oh, we're gonna keep it over here, though.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Until he graduates.
His
have it
dad.
back.
Yeah, Mr. Smith keeps all of
Smith.
it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
With the family.
The family.
Just
Mr. Smith,
Just
you want to take one with the family?
Dad's.
Yes. Come on up with the family. Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Sorry, Dad.
You always remember those moms, Mrs. President. Notice that.
Yeah, let's not forget the dad.
Dad's get left off the ship.
Great job again.
Leslie? Leslie, I don't want to butcher your last name, so tell me your last name in the mic, please.
Gervasio.
Oh, Leslie Horacio. Yes. Your artwork?
This one here?
Wow. Incredible. So tell us a little bit what inspired you to draw this.
Well, this was actually an assignment in my GTA class, and our teacher was telling us to look up examples of what we could draw as a landscape, and that specific one came to my attention since it had many different colors and shapes. Yeah.
Wow. I think I might keep that in my office so that when the work gets hard, I can think that that's where I am. Family? Okay, Lena?
Say it last.
Oh, you definitely have to tell us about this one. And Lena, when you tell us about it, give us your full name.
My full name is Lena Chambaga, and I chose one of the parts because, like, in our class, we were doing a project for the Freedom Center, and I picked Rosa Parks because she was an inspirational figure in the civil rights movement.
Fantastic. You know, to the audience, one of the most difficult parts is going as the superintendent to select the artwork, because you may have 500 different pieces of art, and coming up with those was a real stretch. I mean, it's difficult because the kids are absolutely amazing and talented young artists. So thank you for the families who inspire them every day. Ariel, Monday. Let me see that one again. Oh, that must be a really old picture because it says haircut $10. Not in 2017. So tell a little bit about it, Ariel.
We had to do a three-dimensional building, and I like doing hair, so I just chose to do a hair story.
All right, very good. Proud of you. Great work. Thank you. Family time.
We're going to say it's mandatory.
All right, our next award goes to the Skyline Teacher of the Month, Ms. Sandra Stolting. All right, turn around so we can read about you. Sandra Stolting, a Title I math teacher at Winton Woods Elementary School, is hailed by Principal Adrian Martin as an outstanding example of excellence in the teaching profession. Sandy is a dedicated and passionate educator who shares deep commitment to our students, said Mrs. Martin. She is a great asset to Winton Woods Elementary School, and we're definitely proud to have her on our team. She is diligent in her efforts to provide math supports to her students. She sets high expectations in her math groups and works tirelessly to help our students improve their math skills. Sandy is truly a team player and helps out in all areas of the building. It is an honor to recognize her as the Skyline Teacher of the Month. To be nominated for the Skyline Teacher of the Month, teachers must demonstrate certain attributes. Excellence in the classroom by using instructional practices that support higher academic achievement. Motivation by encouraging and motivating students to surpass their expectations, both academically and socially. Leadership by having a positive attitude with students, parents, colleagues, and the community. Creativity and imagination by demonstrating creativity in teaching in a way that inspires students to learn. Dedication by showing excellent attendance, punctuality, and overall dependability. You know, people don't think about the dedication part, but if you have children who are in school that want to learn and teachers who show up every day, that makes a huge difference. So thank you for your dedication. One more attribute, communication. By communicating effectively to their classroom, parents, colleagues, and beyond. The Skyline Teacher of the Month Award is sponsored by the Forest Park Skyline, a business partner of Winton City Schools. Teachers honored receive a Lexus, wrong information, $30 Skyline gift card. Miss Martin, come up and get a picture with your teacher, please. I just wanted to see if you guys were paying attention to me. Dr. Holden, before I present the Community Spirit Award, I'd like for you to come up and present the students, the Chinese international students, with their welcome to our great city of Forest Park.
Good evening. Young men, you can come in the boardroom. So these young men are with us, part of a larger group with us from Shanghai. So they are with a host parent, Ms. Shelley Hurd. So we have Fan Timber Meng. Why don't you go to the center? Thank you. Han Chen Arthur Wong. Hao Peter Zhang. And Yu Chen Anarchy Zhang.
You guys took off too fast. Arthur, right? Here.
Okay, gentlemen, look this way. Thank you.
We've been tracking these guys for about 3 months, and we've had the other awards, the other students recognized, and these kids kept hiding out on us, so we were going to keep calling their name every month until they showed up. All right. Our Community Spirit Award, Dr. Stephen Wilson. This award is presented to an organization or an individual to recognize their significant contributions to the Winton City School District over a period of many years. Before I read about Dr. Wilson, I'd just like to say I'm just honored to know you and proud to be in your life as well as you're in mine. And one of the things that Dr. Wilson mentioned when I came over to his new office, he started out with an office of having one patient at 8:30 in the morning and another patient at 4:30 in the morning. That was it. But he withstood it and stayed the course, and now he has an incredible practice that it takes a while to get seen. That's all I want to say.
That's no problem to have.
Through his words of encouragement and service to our student athletes and families, Dr. Stephen Wilson has shown himself to be a friend and a partner to Winton City Schools and a leader in our community. Dr. Wilson, who practiced internal medicine with Mercy Medical Associates, serves as a team doctor for our football warriors, spending many Friday nights in the fall on the football sidelines. For the last few years, he has also provided athletic physicals at a much reduced cost to our students, and half of that cost returning to our high school athletic department. At his new facility across the street, Dr. Wilson now provides concussion testing for our athletes. This involves a 30-minute baseline test for athletes involved in all contact sports. The information gathered can be used if an athlete has to be retested after a possible concussion. As a keynote speaker at one of our man-to-man STEM conferences, Dr. Wilson encouraged our young men to display leadership in their lives and put in extra time each day in their studies. He told them, small things can send your life in an entirely different trajectory. Winton City School thanks Dr. Stephen Wilson. Put him in the back.
Turn around. Yeah, turn around. No, turn around. Oh, is that right? Yeah. That's
Mrs. Denny, you're actually the greatest when it comes to photography and doing our graphics. When that picture comes out, do something about that shirt right there. Okay, our final award goes to our partners. All this artwork has actually been framed by Emeritus, and they've been doing this for over 15 years. So the Emeritus family, thank you very much, and we need the recipient of the award to come up. Winton City Schools is a very proud district that creates opportunities for all students. Our mission is to work diligently to develop the whole child. Recognizing students for artistic talent helps to promote the whole child by creativity, confidence, and a culture of respect for the arts. The commitment that Emeritus has made for over 15 years continues to help showcase our very talented students. Emeritus has been very instrumental in framing our students' artwork that's displayed in our schools and offices throughout the district. This generous gesture is a future testament of what great community partners do. They help to enhance the community. As superintendent of Winton City Schools, I'm proud to have Emeritus as a partner. Your contribution for our children makes the difference. Thank you, sir.
I'll just say, I know you guys are anxious to get out of here, but I will just say that seeing the award tonight and the artwork that the children did really validates our gift, and I'm so glad I was able to be here to enjoy that. So, thank you.
Thank you. This last one, this is not an award, but this is just some public service information so that you can know about the upcoming event. Mrs. Denny?
Thank you, Mr. Smith, and good evening, board.
Good evening.
I am really excited to have the opportunity tonight to talk about an event that we have. We have a really special event this week on March 22nd from 5:30 to 8. We will be at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center to celebrate our students. We are having a project showcase for freedom projects, a lot of the projects that you saw tonight at the Freedom Center. So we want to invite everybody out to come join us.
All right. What's the time again?
5:30 to 8.
And what's the cost?
It's completely free.
Completely free. All right. And you get a chance. So we've transformed our district to be a PBL district, project-based learning. Now you get a chance to see why we did it. So, Freedom Center, Wednesday night, be on time because we will start right on time. Correct, Dr. Holden?
Absolutely correct. 5:30 p.m.
Yes.
We'll have performances and projects available.
Performances and projects. Thank you very much. Madam President and Board, that's the end of my part for District Honors, recognitions, gifts, and introductions.
Thank you, Superintendent Smith. Congratulations again to all of our wonderful students, staff, and community partners. We're going to take a 5-minute recess.
Wonderful.
Okay, we're going to come back from our recess and resume our meeting. And we have no public comments this evening, so we will move right into the approval of minutes as presented. So board colleagues, unless you see any necessary changes or revisions, a motion would be in order for 5.0.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Okay. I'll second. It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Douglas?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously, and we will move into 6.0 for the treasurer's report. Mr. Seymour?
Yes, tonight we have for you the statements for the month of February. And our total year-to-date revenues in the general fund were $38.7 million, with $9.2 million being real estate tax advances and approximately 1.4 from our state subsidy foundation. And then our general fund expenditures, we're running at 32.5. We're currently running at approximately 6% under budget, or 3.2 million for the general fund in budget savings for this year, and we'll get back to that a little bit later in the agenda. We also had an unencumbered balance of all funds of 86.2 million, of which 21.6 was the general fund, 10.6 million in our building fund, and 51 million in our classroom facilities fund. I guess that's about it for the treasurer's report. Hopefully we look like we have lots of funds right now, so hopefully we get ready to utilize those funds to the best advantage the district's had in a long time. So.
Thank you, Mr. Seymour. We will let that treasurer's report for the month of February 2017 be submitted to audit, and then we'll move right on into your recommendations, starting with 7.01.
For investments, we had $89.5 million invested at the close of the month, of which approximately, as you know, $61 million of that came in right at the end of the month. So for the month of February, we had interest of $17,282, of which only $1,291 was classroom facilities, and the remainder was for the general fund for that month.
Board colleagues, a motion would be in order for that one.
Madam President, I'd like to approve that the investment report be accepted by the board as presented.
Second. It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion or questions for Mr. Seymour? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously, and we'll move into 7.02.
Next, you have a resolution to enter into acceptance in the Ohio School Facilities Classroom Facilities Assistance Program. And here all you're doing is you pass the resolution to participate as a lapsed district. Now you're passing the resolution to accept their offer in the Classroom Facilities Program as a lapsed district. It's also known as the Certificate of Conditional Approval, and acceptance by the board will be at a later date. Lots of formalities in the process.
Madam President, I'd like to approve the resolution authorizing the school district board to enter into a resolution of acceptance of the Ohio School Facilities Commission Classroom Facilities Assistance Program that was lapsed as presented by our treasurer.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye, motion passes unanimously. We'll move into 7.03. Back to you, Mr. Seymour.
Now we're asking the board to pass the resolution authorizing the president and the treasurer to enter into an agreement with the Ohio School Facilities Construction Commission and/or the Ohio School Facilities Commission for construction of a project consisting of certain classroom facilities as part of the Classroom Facilities Assistance Program as presented. This resolution will authorize the president and the treasurer of the board to enter into agreement with the Ohio School Facilities Commission as that agreement, when that agreement is presented. And again, as you're always giving the president and the treasurer permission to sign documents in your absence, that's what you're giving here, is approval for us to enter into that agreement once it's submitted for our approval.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the president and the treasurer to enter into an agreement with the Ohio's Facility Construction Commission and/or the Ohio School Facilities Commission for the construction of the project consisting of the classroom facilities.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye, motion passes unanimously. 7.04, Mr. Seymour.
As you know, typically in May, we come back and we do a revised forecast with the Board of Education. And our financial advisors, in light of the fact that we're getting ready to go to our rating companies for rating on our bonds for our future bond sales, asked that we try to expedite that at an earlier time. So what I'm going to present to the board is a revised five-year forecast that I normally would bring in May. The reason they were asking us to do this is we want to take advantage of all possibilities of presenting a more accurate picture of where we stand when we go for our Moody's rating or Fitch. I think we're going to get two. So they thought it would be in our best interest to update this in light of the fact that we're showing budgetary savings for the year, and in light of the fact that we have more concrete evidence of where we're going to be with the state budget. Nothing's ever final till July 2nd, as we all know. But what I've done is I've taken that five-year forecast, I've updated it with what we know about the state funding. As you know, they're going to change the state funding from a 7.5% cap to a 5% cap, but that will present growth on down through the five-year forecast. Also, when we develop the five-year forecast, we tie our current appropriations, our current budget in August to that five-year forecast until you see that you're going to present a change from that, a material change in savings, or some unforeseen event in revenue coming. We have no unforeseen events with the revenue of material nature, but we could substantially alter the five-year forecast by reflecting our savings for this year and projecting forward for the next 4 years. So as you can see, by just projecting that savings in the current year, we take that five-year forecast in 2021 and we take it from approximately a $6 million deficit to a $1.8 million positive position. Because when you compound that savings for this year and you compound that into your projections for over the years, we're talking about a change of millions of dollars in the forecast. So in light of the fact that Mr. Smith and I thought it would be in the best interest to bring this earlier before we went to our rating agency, and this would be nothing more than I would be presenting in May, and in May we will not be doing it. So I'm asking you to adopt that revised five-year forecast with the changes in the revenue under the state and our budgetary savings in the line items as it's forecasted. And you also will notice that I do have the emergency levy still in there being passed as a renewal with no additional funds.
Thank you, Mr. Seymour.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the revised five-year forecast as presented.
I'll second that.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any questions or discussion for Mr. Seymour? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Seymour.
Sure, thanks.
And now, Superintendent, we turn to you for 8.01.
Yes, Madam President and Board, for your information and for discussion, there's a series of upcoming events at all of the schools and also the BLT minutes. I'd like to pay special attention to the Freedom Center. That's going to be our showcase for this particular part of our year, and hopefully this will be an annual event that people will believe that we are really on the verge of doing something incredible, not just in Forest Park, but the entire city of Cincinnati.
Thank you, sir. And we'll stay with you for 9.01.
Yes, the recommendations to approve personnel schedules. I'm happy to say, Madam President and Board, we don't have a Schedule A, because Schedule A is usually indicative of resignations. So I'm not saying that they're not coming, but we don't have any this time. So I thought I would highlight that. So Schedule B, certificated staff. Schedule C, support staff. Schedule D, extra duty and supplemental employment. And finally, Schedule E, leaves.
Board colleagues, a motion would be in order for 9.01.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the personnel schedules, Schedules B, C, D, and E, as presented by the superintendent.
I'll second it.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion?
Just one thing, just for clarification, Mr. Smith, on the one schedule for the certificated employees, there's salaries listed for all of the, I guess those are the teachers and not for the administrators. You just explain why, so if somebody sees that, they're like, you know, why aren't their salaries listed there?
The administrator salaries have not been negotiated with the board.
Right.
For increments.
Okay.
So these are all teacher salaries that are part of the original contract agreement. So
That's why
you
they're
wouldn't see
not
it.
there.
No.
Basically, no change.
No change.
No change, but, okay,
Yet.
yet.
Thank you.
Any further discussion or questions for Superintendent? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously, and we'll move into 9.02.
Yes, 9.02, the trip to Camp Joy. Thank you very much. Thank you. This is a great outdoor educational leadership program, and the students attend every year. I think it helps with character building. It gives kids a chance to have the outdoors and be part of that experience. Many of our kids don't come from green space, and so giving them the opportunity to be out and enjoy nature. And these are students that are developing social bonding with their classmates, are participating in team building and icebreaker activities. How many years, Ms. Darcy?
It's been a lot of years, but 10 at least.
10 at least, okay. And this is for students with disabilities?
It is.
Yes. We always have to make sure that we can give all of our students the opportunity to be part of whatever experience our regular students are having. They need to have that same experience. So Camp Joy has been a great addition for educational leadership.
Thank you, Superintendent. Board, a motion would be in order for 9.02.
Madam President, I'd like to approve the proposal for the overnight extended student trip to Camp Joy for intermediate students. Should I say the date? Well, the dates will be very thorough. So May 3rd through the 5th of this year, 2017.
Thank you.
Second.
Good. You are always very thorough in your motions. Thank you. It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Questions? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously, and we will move into 9.03.
Yes, these are new and revised policies, and I believe these are your second reads. So the recommendation is to approve the new and revised board policies as presented. But before I ask the board to to vote on these policies, Mrs. Kuhn had a question about 5330.02. Okay, Ms. Darcy.
The only thing I was bringing up is I know the title talks about the procurement of the epinephrine injectors, and within the body of the policy, it speaks specifically only about EpiPens throughout the policy. There are generic versions, and I would hope that the just EpiPens could be interchanged with the generic version. We're not locking ourselves into only buying Mylan's EpiPens.
No, they can be switched out. I mean, we're not married to any one brand.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because that's what it was written throughout, and before we voted on it, I want to make sure that we didn't, by this policy, lock ourselves into.
The only thing to note here is that each school has 2 pens for different sizes, for different weights of kids and adults. And Dr. Gruey, who we recognized last month, he was the one that got the prescription for us.
Oh, and that's fine. There's just, well, I'm in the pharmaceutical business, and the generics are coming out in there. And EpiPens have had a lot of press recently, and the generic version is about half the cost of even Mylan's new reduction.
We don't pay anything.
Okay, that's even better. Just in the future, just in the future, just in case we did. I'm trying to look for ways we can save our money.
Very good.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
If we could in the future, but for now it's a free program.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Combs,
Free's
did that
better.
answer your question?
It did, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The recommendation, Board President, is to approve the new and revised board policies as presented.
And board colleagues, one motion would be in order for this item. We're going to do the motion for the blanket of all of the revised policies you have there, because as Superintendent mentioned earlier, this is our second read. Our first read was last month on all of these. So a motion would be in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the new and revised board policies as presented.
I'll second that.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggless?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And we will move into our Board of Education reports. First up is the legislative report. There are a lot of things going on at the state level and things that are trying to be maneuvered in and out of the governor's budget bill. There's almost too much for me to consume into one tiny report for you. So I'm sure you see all of the emails that we get on a daily basis. One of the first things that happened is the governor proposed 3 business folks sitting on local governing boards such as ours, who were appointed and not elected by the constituents of each community, which I personally think is a horrible idea, because you need people to represent your constituents, and you need the people who are voted from your local communities. We don't need, someone to appoint, and who even would appoint, who would make that decision, and so many questions and so many things unanswered. Another thing that happened that you probably saw recently in your email is that the governor wants teachers to go on some sort of a vocational, I don't know, what would you call that? Some kind of job shadowing he wants teachers to do, as if they don't have enough on their plates, right? So there's a lot of interesting things, and I will keep you posted on what comes of this, if anything. And then moving into the Great Oaks report, we don't have anything. Something that has transpired between last regular meeting and this one is our current liaison to the Great Oaks, Mr. Tim Cleary, has resigned his position. So it is now on the duty of this board to reappoint someone to our Great Oaks Technical Center liaison position, which is forthcoming in a board motion. So I will just be quiet about that, and we'll move on into 10.03. which is a resolution called the Guiding Principles for Community Learning Centers. These next 2 resolutions, as we spoke about them in the work session meeting, board colleagues and Superintendent and Treasurer Seymour, is just to mainly get the board's vision out in policy form, so that your teams and our administrators know where the board's vision and our basically our yearning lies, and that this is definitely something we're interested in, something we want to keep open as a possibility, and that is, in a nutshell, what it is. So if I could entertain a motion for 10.03, and then we'll move into 10.04.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution guiding principles for community learning centers as recommended.
Second. It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion, questions, or anything any of our board colleagues would like to add?
I just wanted to add, Madam President, that I think that with the new buildings, it gives us an opportunity to enhance our position within the community. It allows us to meet certain needs that exist within our community and for our students that will further enhance what we offer our community and make us more holistic. So I'm very excited about this opportunity.
Thank you, Mrs. Kuhn. Okay, seeing no additional comments, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And we will move into 10.04, which, much like the prior motion, this one is called the Community Learning Center's Parameters for Partnerships. And a motion would be in order for this one as well, board colleagues.
Madam President, I would like to make a motion to approve the resolution, make sure I have the right one, for the Winton Woods City School Community Learning Center's parameters in partnership or for partnership as recommended.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And we will now move into our board motions at 11.01, our appointment to our Great Oaks Career Governing Board. Board colleagues, a motion would be in order for this one.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution of the appointment to the Great Oaks Career Campus Governing Board of Mr. Jeff Birdie to fill the unexpired term of Mr. Cleary.
Second. It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mr. Kuhn? Mrs. Kuhn, my apologies.
Aye and aye.
Okay. Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
How about Mrs. Birdie now, Mr. Birdie?
Do I vote for myself?
Sure.
Aye.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And we'll move quickly through our board comments if we can, as we do have a need for an executive session this evening. Mr. Birdie, we will start with you. Any comments from you tonight, sir?
Just very quickly, the visioning sessions that happened were fantastic. I mean, especially the student participation and their leadership and just the way they reacted was great to watch. Thoroughly enjoyed that. I have had the privilege of, at a previous life at one of my employers, spending like 3 days at Camp Joy myself doing team building exercises. Just, you know, it'll be a great experience for those students. I think they'll probably thoroughly enjoy that. And outside of that, I'm looking forward to the challenge and the opportunity of the Great Oaks School Board. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Birdie. Dr. Johnson?
Yes, again, always thanking our community partners that come in and do so much for our district. Also, just want to say a special thank you to Dr. Holden and Mrs. Denny, because they really worked very hard to pull together and to get all the people coordinated for the Night of Freedom event, and I'm really excited about it, although I haven't registered. I promise I will. I'm going, yes.
That would be called the Night of No Freedom if you don't come.
They're at 680 RSVPs right now.
Wow.
So that is just so phenomenal.
Without students?
Yes, that's
Nice.
without the student count. So we're going to fill up the Freedom Center, and hopefully the news will be there, and everybody will know that Winton Woods is alive and well, and you know, really coming on strong. And the last thing is just to thank Mr. Birdie for taking on the challenge of the Great Oaks. You know, and fulfilling Mr. Cleary's term. We really appreciate that because it is a large commitment of time, and he already has things on his plate, and then the school board. So we really appreciate your effort in taking on that. So that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Mrs. Ruggles.
I actually don't have too much to say, except for I really enjoyed the arts fair. Got a chance to bring my daughter, and she really enjoyed it. And I'm always amazed that what these children can produce. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm really looking forward to the Night of Freedom at the Freedom Center. This is going to be a flagship event for our district.
Thank you. Mrs. Kuhn?
I wanted to compliment all of our students for their hard work, their entries, their presentations of their art, the powerful talent that we have everywhere. It's a great opportunity to present it at the Freedom Center too this Wednesday. So I wanted to compliment all of our students there. I appreciate our new sports that are coming this spring, and it just emphasizes the opportunities, the multiple opportunities all of our students have to grow in many ways. And then one last piece, I wanted to say that our school board is very eager and hungry to learn and become better and better servants of our community and our students. So we're always looking for ways to grow, and we'll be going to the National School Board trainings to get even more enhanced opportunities. So we feel that's an important component and a strong obligation of our service to our students and our community, and that's an important piece that we want to share with everyone.
Thank you, Mrs. Kuhn. My only comment is just a comment to the greater good of humanity, if you're listening. That I have experienced personally some very dangerous situations around our school buildings at dismissal time, one at elementary school, and I know our buildings are tucked away in our beautiful neighborhoods, and I know it's hard to follow the speed limit sometimes, but I almost witnessed 3 of our students at the elementary school get completely run over by a vehicle who was speeding at dismissal time. So everyone out there, if you're a parent, tell all the other parents you know, please be careful, follow the speed limit zones. Please know the times when our buildings are in and out with students, because these times are very dangerous and it's a lot of commotion going on, and sometimes students aren't looking both ways when they're passing the street, and that it's just very dangerous, and I would like our community to please just be aware of that. We don't have any more of those fancy flashing lights at some of our buildings. I know we have one at the high school, but ES does not have one of those. It's just the old-fashioned, you know, double lines on the ground. So please be aware of our school zones. Please be aware our children are alive and well, and we'd like to keep them that way. Thank you. And just please follow the safety codes and the safety zones. I would greatly appreciate that. And let's see, I don't see anyone from WWTA or OPSI here tonight. So I guess the only thing left to do would be to entertain our motion to go into executive session.
Madam President, I would like to make a motion to go into closed executive session for the purpose of personnel matters.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Mariangas?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. We will now move into executive session. There will be no further business after executive session. So thank you, Waycross Media, and thank you everyone else for being here, and have a great night.